Oh man, CNN gets mercilessly mocked for hosting a coronavirus town hall featuring the radical left-wing activist Greta Thunberg, and Anderson Cooper ends up having a total and complete meltdown. I mean, it doesn't get better than this. We're going to take a look at the latest round of ridicule that CNN has so justly earned and deserved, and why Anderson Cooper's response only ends up proving the point of why CNN was taunted to begin with. You're going to absolutely love it. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. A super happy Friday to each and every one of you. If you're new here and you're looking for a daily white pill of encouragement to help you counter all the ridiculous fake news that's out there coming from our corporatist, globalist media, you have found your oasis here. We post 2 videos a day analyzing current events and live some super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You're going to absolutely love being a regular part of this channel and interacting with this network of conservatives from all over the world. They're simply the best. And speaking of, let's start off with our video chat question for the day. Who is your least favorite commentator on CNN? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and make sure to tell us why. Is it Cooper, Cuomo, Lemon, Stelter, Blitzer? Who grates you the most? Let us know in the comments section below. It should make for some very interesting reading for sure, because we're going to take a look at the latest fail to come out of CNN and why they have so earned justly that title, the most untrusted name in news. But first, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that is Prepper's Peak new solar water heater. Now, for many of us who find ourselves, for all practical purposes, trapped during this lockdown, this solar water heater is turning out to be really our best friend. The solar water heater is an amazing device. It allows you to heat and boil water outdoors using simply the sunlight. It can heat water in as little as 30 minutes, and it'll work anywhere the sun shines. Hello, campers. You can use it to boil water, cook noodles and rice, sterilize water for drinking. And the best part is that if you click on the link below, you'll get a 15% discount. What could be better? So don't wait. Click on that link below before they sell out and get your own Patriot Sun cooker today. All right, gang, let's have a little fun here, shall we? CNN had their so-called town hall the other night on the COVID-19 virus, and it featured ever so prominently, for whatever reason, the radical environmentalist extremist Greta Thunberg. Yes, you heard that right. CNN billed a program as a global town hall on the coronavirus, and they subtitled it Facts and Fears. And among the guests that would be appearing was none other than Greta, how dare you, Thunberg. And of course, social media blew up. CNN was completely mocked over all this. The Huffington Post, Yashar Ali, asked incredulously, what place does Greta Thunberg have in this town hall? Another one mocked Greta Thunberg. Now she's a COVID expert? CNN is a joke. And those were some of the more tame ones, to be honest with you. And why is anyone surprised? Of course CNN or any other supposedly reputable organization is going to get significant blowback from featuring Greta as a guest to discuss COVID-19, as they should. One has to legitimately wonder how the heck Greta Thunberg has anything even remotely meaningful or insightful to say about a pandemic of which she has not the slightest expertise. So, as things played out, Anderson Cooper went on to host the so-called town hall, which aired on Thursday evening. Very few people watch it, of course, which is just par for the course for CNN. It's usually the case. But then, for whatever insane reason, Cooper decided to address the mockery, all right? He launched into this sophomoric tirade that, as one commentator put it, made him sound more like a perturbed tween. Okay, here's a sample of what he had to say.
Yesterday, CNN ran an ad with pictures of some of our guests who would be on this 2-hour program tonight, who you've already seen. Take a look. This is the ad that we ran. It's got pictures of Kathleen Sebelius, former CDC Director Richard Besser. It's got a picture of Sanjay. No picture of me. Okay, but that's okay. That's fine. I don't need another picture of me. And there's a picture of Greta Thunberg. Now, later, the ad was updated to include the Commissioner of Baseball when he confirmed that he indeed would be on this broadcast as well. So that's the ad that then ran. Apparently, someone with a blue check on Twitter saw the initial ad and was outraged and claimed that we had booked Greta Thunberg to be an expert on a coronavirus panel with other health experts. Then, of course, Donnie Trump Jr. jumped into this, which is weird because I thought he was allegedly running whatever remains of the Trump Organization. I mean, shouldn't that be like a really busy job since it's, allegedly such a great big company? Anyway, once DJ TJ started typing, then other people with blue checks on Twitter also started doing their thing because everyone has to produce content these days. That's what it's all about. It's like a tween on TikTok. You got to produce content lest you miss out on a cycle of phony outrage. Then someone who's apparently a reporter at Forbes wrote an article about this alleged controversial booking and the concern about it. And the New York Post today wrote about it as well, claiming we were having her on a panel, which is what the first person on Twitter was claiming, which was made up. It was made up then. It was made up today in the Post. And in case you think this is some sort of cover-up, look at our past ads for shows. They're exactly the same. We had Alicia Keys a few weeks ago debuting a video for a song she released for frontline workers. Nobody thought she was on a panel with the FDA Commissioner Hahn, Governor Cuomo, and Jose Andres. None of them were on panels. They were all individual. Look, here's a promo for last week's town hall we had with journalist Lori Garrett, former Vice President Al Gore, and Spike Lee. No panel, just interviews. And again, no picture of me, just Sanjay. That's okay.
So Anderson Cooper is upset, okay? He's upset that someone with what he called a blue check on Twitter, I think he's referring to Hotline's Josh Kraushaar's Twitter feed. So Cooper is upset that Josh Kraushaar saw the initial, advertisement, and he was outraged that Greta Thunberg, as Anderson puts it, would be on this panel with other health experts. So Cooper is upset that anyone would even suggest that CNN would have booked Greta Thunberg to be an expert, to be on an expert panel. Now, that would be reprehensible. We at CNN, we who take facts and science so seriously, we would never, ever place Greta Thunberg on a scientific panel. She's just a guest. And to prove his point, he showed other guests that have been on past coronavirus town halls, like Alicia Keys and Spike Lee. So, well, nobody made an issue of that, did they? So why are you making such an issue about Greta Thunberg? Now, again, I have to say, this is what makes CNN so much fun, just to kind of kick around. I think they're really just a parody of themselves at this point, because the obvious answer to Anderson Cooper is that the whole mockery was not that Greta Thunberg was on a panel, or supposedly on a panel of experts discussing the coronavirus pandemic. The mockery was over the fact that CNN, in providing what they claimed to be an informative town hall on COVID-19, would feature Greta at all. You see, Anderson, can I call you that? Anderson, we're friends, right? First of all, what you have to understand is that for most of us here, we don't believe that you at CNN put on town halls. All right, you call them town halls. We call them left-wing demonstrations. What you bill as town halls are emphatically not town halls for most of us. They're demonstrations featuring the who's who of liberal wokeness. CNN being the principal advocate and shill for all things woke. That's, by the way, why CNN is broke. Right? You want to make fun of the Trump organization, but take a look at your own ratings, dude. Take a look at the hundreds of workers CNN has had to lay off precisely because the ratings are in the toilet. Even Ted Koppel, God bless him, the former host of ABC's Nightline, pointed that out. He publicly stated in front of that asinine CNN blowhard Brian Stelter that if it weren't for Donald Trump, CNN's ratings would be in the tank. They already are, but regardless, whatever CNN put on the other night, it was emphatically not a town hall. It was a televised left-wing demonstration. And that is why you had Greta on as your guest in the first place. Greta is one of the most sought-after speakers for any cultural Marxist gathering. Your audience, CNN's audience, is radically left-wing. And so in order to appease that, in order to appease what remains of your audience, you put on Greta, right? That's what all the mockery was ultimately about. It's about pointing out what pathetic left-wing shills you've become on CNN. And then, as if you were defending yourself against such mockery, you end up proving that very point. Look at who Anderson Cooper featured as proof that what they did with Greta was nothing new, which I would agree. Look, everyone, he's had guests like this before, right? Look, we've had the ultra-left-wing singer Alicia Keys, an outspoken critic of President Trump. She fits right on. She's right at home here on CNN. And don't forget Spike Lee, the cultural Marxist par excellence, who openly refers to President Trump as a white supremacist. And notice who Spike Lee is a guest along with. Oh, what do you know? It's the environmentalist extremist Al Gore. And look, who else? Well, what do you know? Lori Garrett, a Trump-hating apologist and advocate for the World Health Organization. So what do you know, Anderson? In defending yourself against all the mockery that CNN is nothing more than the clown news network that shills for all things left-wing and liberal, your defense only ends up proving the point. You know what this reminded me of? Do you remember the epic meltdown that Chris Cuomo had when someone called him Fredo? Right? It was several months back. We did a video on it. Chris Cuomo was caught on camera in a video that's gone viral, right, of just totally verbally assaulting a fellow and threatening him with physical violence and the like. It was pretty brutal stuff, to be honest with you. And apparently what happened is this guy or a couple of guys in the video, they're harassing Cuomo for being this left-wing shill on CNN. You know, he's out in public. Is at a public place somewhere, and they're harassing him, and Cuomo just suffers this complete and total meltdown. I mean, Cuomo just absolutely freaks out, and he starts confronting these guys, and he starts threatening this one fellow in particular with physical violence. I mean, it's really pretty brutal. And Cuomo became a total laughingstock through all this because he justified his temper tantrum by saying that the guy called him Fredo. And Cuomo claimed that calling an Italian Fredo is equivalent to using the N-word, which of course is ridiculous, and he was ridiculed mercilessly for it. But to me, what was even more interesting is that, well, to what does the term Fredo mean? It's become, in effect, a euphemism, as it were, for an Italian thug, for an angry Italian who's going to rough you up. So what's the irony here? By threatening physical violence against these guys for calling him Fredo, Cuomo ends up acting precisely like the caricature he was so upset over. He ends up being exactly a parody of himself, what these guys were calling him. And I couldn't help but think of this when I saw Anderson Cooper's response to all the mockery CNN got for featuring Greta Thunberg as one of their guests on this so-called CNN town hall for the coronavirus. For whatever ridiculous reason, Cooper decided to sound off against all the mockery and criticism that CNN got and ended up proving the very reason for the mockery. You would think that after 3 straight years of reporting a Russian collusion hoax as actual news, CNN would have a little more humility and contriteness in response to outpourings of skepticism and doubt over their coverage of current events. But no, not the Clown News Network. No, they continue to exemplify the epitome of left-wing arrogance and smugness. But frankly, that's what makes it even funnier. And with Anderson and Fredo at the helm, I think we can be fairly certain that CNN will always be, for us conservatives, the best gift that just keeps on giving. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my video I just uploaded on the collapse of the anti-Trump resistance. It is absolutely amazing what's going on in the exposure of Biden and Obama and their coup attempt against President Trump. And now it's Trump's turn to investigate them. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.